Hi everyone, it's Ashley at Tea Garden Paper Crafts. I know it's been a little while since I've been able to post a video, but the holidays happened. We had some very hectic holidays. I will not bore you with all of that. Instead, I want to get right into my project for the year, which is the Junk Journal Journey 2025. I made the digitals for this project myself. They are available in my Ko-fi shop. I will link that in the description below. The kits for each week will be $1, and then probably once a month or once every other month or so, I will start bundling kits together so anyone who's starting later in the process and didn't get to start right away can pick up the everything all at once. Um, but I am also going to show you how to make these projects without my digitals because I want these to be accessible for everyone as a tutorial on how to make elements of a junk journal. And at the end of the full year, I want everyone to have a full journal that they've assembled all of the parts in. And you can see different ways to use things for your own projects. So for week one, I wanted to start off super simple. It's only January 2nd. I want to make sure that we're starting the year off nice and easy with belly bands. So this is what you get in the first kit. I printed these out on just plain paper just so you can get an idea of what they look like, but I would print them on cardstock because you want your belly bands to be thicker than plain paper. But the first page has some nice fussy cuts and a couple of pre-measured belly bands. It also has 2 pages of really pretty backgrounds. This is the first one, which goes this way, and then the second one that goes this way. So like you could use this as a page in your journal. You could fold it and use that as a page. You can use them for tons of different things, pockets, stuff like that. And the idea is that each week the digitals are going to grow on each other. So you can use all of the different backgrounds that you're going to get, all of the fussy cuts and everything in different ways, print things multiple times to reuse in the kit. So that's the idea behind this. So if you make anything from the project, I'd love to see tag the Junk Journal Journey 2025 on Facebook, social media, whatever platform you use, and tag me. I would love to see, or come drop in my comments, say, hey, come check out what I made with your tutorial. I would love to see it. Okay, so let's get into it. So I pre-cut everything, printed on nice heavy cardstock, pre-print and pre-inked everything except for my pages here. But I didn't back these because I wasn't sure how I would want to use them. So we have all of our fussy cuts. I inked in Vintage Photo. And we have our belly bands here. And then I have just a piece of paper that is a standard 8.5 by 11 that I coffee dyed. And so I can kind of show you how a belly band would go on the page. All right, so my first idea that I want to show you for the belly bands is just something super, super simple. I want to take one of these images. I think I might use this one because it looks like it can be turned either way. And I want to make it so that I could put it on a page this way. And then you tuck things behind it here. Now, obviously, it's going to be a little long for my journal, but that's okay because what we can do is once we actually go to assemble our journal, we can glue this in and then snip off the end. Or you can keep this long and use it as a page tab. Fold this over in half and put a little label on here. So this is the first thing that I want to do. So for this one, so that we know we want to keep it orientated this way, I want to take some of my fussy cuts and I want to put them on this page. So let's see. So if we're thinking that this is going to be a sideways belly band, I think I might like say my flower here. And then maybe we'll do the pink with the pink. And do something like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. So for this, I'm okay with just using a standard glue stick. I like the Scotch permanent glue sticks a lot. I find that they are my absolute favorites. I'm just going to put a line of glue on it here. find where I want it to go and press it down. So then what I do is, because I'm going to have a little bit of edge here where it's not totally glued, I can then come back in with my glue stick and then just do a little bit of glue there. So this way I don't overglue on the back, because you don't want to overglue with something like a belly band, especially if you're going to be putting it into your journal right away, because then it might stick to your page. And then the same thing with this one here. I'm just going to do the little finger smush technique, as Pam from the Paper Outpost calls it. And make sure I've got everything glued. When I said these were going to be simple, I meant it. Belly bands can be super, super simple. So then when you go to actually put this in your journal, you can put it anywhere you want on the page. You can put it at the top, you can put it at the bottom. I like to sometimes do stuff at the do one at the top, and then if I have a pocket on the bottom, oops, let me get my glue out of the way so I don't stick to everything. So like, say I had a pocket down here on the bottom, right? We'll use this as an example. So you have your pocket on the bottom, and if you want to put something super tall in here, in this pocket that's going to stick out, I like to put a belly band at the top of it to make sure that it's not folding forward. Can you see that? There we go. Move that back into camera a little bit more. So this way, this is not folding out in your journal. It keeps it a little bit more secure, and it allows you to put bigger things or a little bit more bulk in the journal, and that belly band helps keep it secure. Or you could just use it as right in the center of the page, and then use it like that. So that is our first belly band. Super simple. So for my second one here, I'm just going to leave this one nice and simple as well. I am going to use these more neutral ones on this one. And we're just going to have them like that. Just something to give it a little bit more. I like to try and break up the edges a little bit. Because sometimes, when you're making things like belly bands, they can get super square. So I like to use fussy cuts to break up. Oops, stuck to me there. I like to use fussy cuts to break up the kind of very rigid lines, give something a little bit more visually interesting. Get this poor wing glued down a little better. There we go. And then we'll just have this down here kind of breaking it as well. You could obviously embellish these more if you wanted to. If you want to put labels and words on here, you could even put like lace along the sides. I'm trying to keep it fairly simple so that you can use just the items in the kit. But I also want to give you some ideas of things you could do other than this. Because some people like to make their journals a little busier, or they like to add a lot of texture, stuff like that, which is tough to do if you're doing just paper. So I want to keep it simple, but I also want to give you an idea of other things that you could do. So let's make sure this is nice and glued here. And push down the back. All right. So that doesn't want to stay very well, does it? There we go. So that is that belly band. But like I said, you could put lace, like trim along the side here of each one. And then when you put it on your page, it'd be really pretty. You could also use this as not just a belly band, but you could also use it as a side tuck. If you don't want the things hanging off the side, obviously you wouldn't do that, but you could just glue it along this edge and also use it as a side tuck. So there's lots of ways you can use that. So then for my last one here, let me pull up my sleeves. I want to show you how to use one of these backgrounds so that you can see how to make a belly band without the digitals. So this you could use any piece of paper for. And what I like to do is measure against my page. I like to don't usually like to have my belly bands go absolute top to absolute bottom, just because it's not my preference, but you could absolutely do it with say like this one, and cut it down to size so that you have a full top to bottom. But I'm going to show you how I like to make mine, since this will be going in my journal. So I'm just going to kind of look here, see if we like this edge of the paper, and I do. So I'm going to cut mine. So first, I'm just going to kind of see, I'm going to start to fold the paper to kind of see what my image looks like. And I want to get as much of this one in here as possible. So I'm going to do something like that. Okay, and then I will come along. I will cut this out. Normally I would say use a paper trimmer, but my paper trimmer broke, and I haven't figured out what I want for a new one yet. If you have any recommendations, I would love to know. Do you have a paper trimmer that you love? I would please give me recommendations, because I've gone through 3 now, and I like to use the ones that you pull down instead of the guillotine style. But I would love to hear your recommendations. So, all right, so I'm going to ink the edges of mine. I like inking. You do not need to ink. Some people, it's a little too fancy or a little too fussy. That's fine. You do not need to ink. I just really like inking my projects. I think it gives it a little something extra, especially with a cut edge and a torn edge. It looks gorgeous on a torn edge. So, for this one, you could just do it something as simple as that. But I'm going to make mine a double belly band. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-glue this one on. So get a little bit of glue. I'm going to spread it right to the edge there with my finger. Make sure that no corners try to do the peely-uppies. Okay. And for this one, I'm using my Fabri-Fix glue, because it's going to have a little bit more stress on it, because you're going to be putting things in and out behind it. So I'm going to kind of center that as best as I can and push down nice and firm. So then what we've done is we've added just a little bit of interest to that belly band, and now it's a double belly band, because you can put something behind it here when it's glued to the page, and then you can also put something behind it here when it's on the page. And I would say you would want to put something smaller in the front and then larger in the back, because then when you have the page, it also gives you a little bit of visual interest too. So there we are. So in 10 minutes, and including me talking, we have made 3 really pretty belly bands. Super easy. And we have fussy cuts for another day. Now, if you wanted to, you could embellish this, but I'm going to leave it plain, because I really like the way that these 2 images go together. I like the way that the fern and then the kind of floral design here go. I like the colors. So I think that that's really pretty. So there we are. There's week 1 of Junk Journal Journey 2025. We've got some fussy cuts that we will save for a future project. We've got papers we can save for a future project. And we have 3 wonderful belly bands already ready to go. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Keep an eye out. I will be posting, my intention is to post every Thursday with the week projects. I will make the digitals available for download the day before on my Ko-fi site on Wednesdays. And I will post in my community tab on YouTube with that. So make sure you're following me there. Follow me on Ko-fi. Make sure you're set up for notifications from my channels so that you don't miss out on any of these. And like I said, I plan on bundling them at the end of probably each month to make it so that you are able to catch up easily and only have to download 1 or 2 files as opposed to 4 separate files for each month. So if you have any comments, suggestions, things that you'd like to see, please leave a comment below, and I look forward to hearing from everyone and seeing your projects. Bye now.